am Amanda. I am from Mexico City. I am a composer and a violinist and also a singer. And um, I've been working for almost 5 years professionally doing composing songs and jazz arrangements and producing my music. And recently, about 2.5 years, I found out what is called creative music, which is like a new. I don't know if it's new, but it's like another approach of doing music while improvising with your instrument, and that really opened my eyes about how many ways do we have to get to the same point, which is making music, right? And I don't know, and since then I've been opening my eyes to new approaches to creative music through improvisation and circle singing, which is another way to approach music through the voice, and with my violin, what we call music explorations, which is another way to find with your own instrument, like it's a new way to see your instrument as you never played it before. So I approach a lot of musicians that were doing it, some of them in the UK, some of them in the United States, and some of them in Latin America. And it was really nice for me to see how they speak about music as a way to explore your own self and your own curiosity. So I started doing these little music capsules, maybe 1 or 2 minutes long, where I kind of play with my instrument in the purest meaning of the word playing, like I used to touch the wood in my violin and maybe grasp the strings as if I've never played before. No, nobody teach me technique. And the result of it was doing really, really curious works that I started loving the sounds when you are not concerned about technique, like a classic violinist would be concerned about it. So I started mixing them together and realized that you could really make like really sound design with it, take you to other atmospheres and places. So that was kind of what really inspired me to do uh, works with my violin in non-classical or standard methods. And what got me to Syntropy was actually that, because I was looking for places where I could, be more concise about what sound design means and what sound art means. So I started getting involved with a lot of um, plastic and visual artists and sound designers and started asking them, and somehow the algorithm is kind of magic, because it showed me some one day it just showed me the open goal, and I was okay, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So it was a really nice moment for me. And well, I just applied it and you liked it, and then I got to meet Allison, um, and it was really nice because she's a really sweet person, and we got together on Zoom, even though we never met each other. I really like what she does as a visual artist, and we connected because I was just talking to her about she was telling me about the cyclical movements and that the way she approaches them through her visual works. And I was like, yeah, I know what you mean, because with the violin, it's all about vibrations, about the strings, how they vibrate, and how those same vibrations could lead you to as in a classical piece, or they can lead you somewhere else if you know how to use them right. So I was just telling her, like, I like to use the same vibrations of my violin, but I like to use them in different contexts. So what I did was, because it was a relaxed open goal, I did cyclical movements with my violin, trying to imitate uh, things that I also consider cyclical, like waves in the ocean, or the breathing or the sunrises, things that happen every day in our lives, once and every day, you know. So that the result, it's really good because I sent her my audio, and I think she really got it. Like she really got to, because I don't know if it's because we have talked before, but or because she's awesome, but she really got the point. So I'm really happy about working with her, and I know I'm looking forward doing it again.
Oh, wow, that was so amazing to hear. And I was like all the way through as you were talking, I really had to hold myself from wanting to ask you more questions. So I'm gonna like take us like right back to the start. Because
Sure.
you said something that I've heard before, this kind of technical classical versus improvisation and intuition led.
Yeah.
And because they both have a place in the art world and in the music world. Once you, what's it, where learn the rules so you can break them like an artist. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah, Picasso.
that's it, yeah. So it's how much, and obviously you can always just keep learning. It's no end to that. But what point
Yeah.
does it kind of start to interfere with the free flowing side of what music and art is, and when does it like strengthen it, and the combination of them both? So it's really cool that you found Syntropy on that journey of kind of creative improvisation and found
Yeah.
a artist like Allison, um, to kind of to have this kind of mini collaboration project with. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's a really interesting question that I've asked myself a lot, because even though I consider myself an improviser, I also work as a violinist, like a recording artist for other artists, or with my project that I have, a songwriter project also, which is more structured. And I realized something, like, to me it's all about languages, and because at the end of the day, the tonal system and the music system we use was also invented by some group of people that were like, what would happen if we do this, or if we do this, or if we do that? So it's not like we are discovering new things. We are just getting to the same point through different paths, you know? Like, so, uh, maybe 5 years ago, I didn't know all the harmony and counterpoint and arrangement skills that I do now, but the curiosity has led me to ask myself questions that can be answered through these technique books, because other people already asked them. So it's not like I'm trying to figure new stuff. It's only that instead of going through methodical to the methodical path that most of the musicians go through their studying years, you know, because they go to school and they tell them, well, here is solfege, and here is harmony, and here is that. I'm going through the same stuff, but the I guess my curiosity is the one that's leading the way in which things I need first, you know, because and I think I've learned so much, like asking myself stuff. Like I composed an album a couple of years ago, and all the way through the album, I was like, what would happen if I do this with the bass, and and that question got me thinking, like, oh, maybe I should read technique for double play bass players, and I did that, you know. So it's not like I know new stuff, but now I know a lot of stuff that what would be the word, that pleases me spiritually, because my curiosity was the one that asked it in the first place, right?
Yeah,
Because otherwise we get a lot of knowledge that we really don't use in our everyday life. So that's what I didn't want, you know.
that's awesome. Yeah, that's exactly it. And they say that nothing is original, everything is a re-expression of something. And so
Yeah.
it's my thought that to tap into that, what you just described, that curiosity which is kind of your inner kind of spiritual self kind of wanting to express itself, that is unique because only you can express it from your eyes and from your hands and eyes and mouth. And but like you said, the information is the same, but it's
Yeah.
expressed in a different way. And so that's where the whole spectrum, because the way that you express what you're saying, it might be completely understood by someone who couldn't understand it from someone else saying the same message but from their expression. And so that's
Right.
why it's so important to have this like just array of variety, because the more people that you can touch and reach.
Yeah, exactly. And I do think that curiosity and, well, what I call the creative path, you might say, is really linked to your, I don't know how to say it in English, auto concept, self-esteem, and the way you see yourself.
Yeah.
And I see that a lot with my students because I teach jazz violin, and they are really concerned of people seeing how they play and thinking that's not jazz. And I'm like, yeah, it could be, but you have to understand that's a language you're speaking. You have to get to the language and understand the things that make it a language. But also that language is part of an improvised culture, so you can be yourself through that language. And any music style or genre that you choose to fulfill your musicianship in it, it's going to be a language also. So you have to be aware that no matter what path you choose, the I think the important part is to not lose yourself in it, right? Because there's a point when you lose yourself because you start thinking more about what others can perceive of your musicianship and not what you really feel like, that voice inside your head that's asking questions and you need to fit it, right? So my philosophy is more like that. It's not like um stepping back any genre or saying this is good, this is not good, but it's like, yeah, I feel like always like I'm flying above all of those genres, just picking what things I like about them. And I think it's a really really respectful way to approach music, because you're not saying a style is better than other, but it's saying like, oh, what I want to express right now can be really good if I use this baroque counterpoint, as an example.
I love
Yeah,
that. I
so it's
love
it.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome. Oh, the and you're right about the um being able to create and appreciate other people's art and music through the same lens that you create. And it's
Yeah.
and if it's real and if it touches someone, it's because that's the space that it came from you. And it's scary to, again, when you're putting yourself out there and fear of judgment. And because as a society, I think also it's very hard for people to evaluate art and music without the fear that they're going to say the wrong thing, or they don't really understand it in a way that they think they should. And so it's really cool that you have this kind of non-judgmental process through with yourself creating as well as others.
Yeah, yeah, and it's really hard because I think human nature is kind of like that. We always fear what could make us see our better versions of ourselves, or different versions of ourselves. And I do feel that sometimes. I mean, after all, I'm only human, but it's cool because I think it's a way to approach music and life in a way that you center yourself in processes that could be really loving and meaningful to you. And by doing that, you acknowledge that the other people around you are also in a battle with themselves, with their artistry. Um, and I don't know. I think it's a nice way to see life, because I do get criticized sometimes, especially by purists of each genre. Like, oh, this sounds like soul, but it's not soul. But and it's really easy to find excuses to shove away uh, projects that you might not like because you don't feel reflected on them. But sometimes the more abstract projects are the ones that are actually more honest. So it's kind of like a debate that we could be for hours. But I really appreciate when an artist, any kind of discipline, uh, takes this step, like for themselves and say, this is me, you know, this is how I look like, this is how I sound like, this is what I smell like, even though. And I don't know, it's something that I really appreciate. And as you said, you can really tell if if a piece is made from this honest point of the artist.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's is testament to the strings meditation. I think throughout the
Yeah.
whole video, you can, it's like an emotional kind of story. It's really engaging, and it's awesome to have it available for people to watch for their well-being,
Yeah.
to be able to tune in
Yeah.
and to experience that. That's really cool.
Yes. If I can add, like, I really believe that we are on a breaking point because we are finally considering the importance of mental health in our societies. We are finally able to speak about it out loud, and I don't know. I feel really hopeful that places, and I say places because for me Syntropy is not only an app, it's a place you can go, right? It's a place you can go. So that makes me really hopeful because I see a lot of people that are seeking a place where they can be at peace with themselves. So yeah, it makes me really happy to be part of it.
Thank you so much for your time today.
No, thank you so much, my pleasure.